right, come on, internet. Hey, welcome into the TDA post-game show. Alabama has just finished things off against Arkansas. Pretty interesting game. Alabama pulls it out, though, 49-26. We got a lot to talk about. Here with me is former national champion and the best strength coach in America, Mike McCoy. What up, brother?
Man, you got it, man. Just another day, another win, huh?
Man, I tell you, we decided to make things a little bit dramatic today, but you like games like that, right?
Man, it keeps you involved, man. You don't want to even go to the bathroom, Games like this, hey, that's what you live for, man. It's a shootout. It was a good game, though, man.
Hey, things got a little crazy there for a second. I kept on thinking to myself, 28 points. We scored a little too fast. And, with things going the way they were, I was worried, were we going to become one-dimensional? And would Arkansas pick up on that? And, man, they did. And they were a little bold. They hit us in the mouth. And when we thought, things were getting a little bit going our way, what they do? We get an onside kick that we had no preparation for. It's like we had no idea it was coming. Man, talking about some cuss words flying out my mouth.
No, man, that's part of it, man. I mean, just on, I guess, being a former player and a fan, even the players, man, a game like that keeps you on your tippy toes. You can't get comfortable. You're gonna be mad, you're gonna be tough, but that's what them hot summers are for, man. That's what you run them 110s for, man. Them curves, man, is part of it.
Hey, speaking of running 110s, there's a guy in our receiving core that is actually a champion at running the 100 meter, running a 10.8, none other than your boy, Kobe Prentice. Started us off right, looked really good, man. I know that you were proud, like a proud papa.
I'm gonna still get on it. We still got some things we got to clean up. He did exceptionally well, man. I mean, the kid he played fast, explosive. I think he could have contributed more. I think it was a couple passes I felt he should have caught, capitalized on. But man, he's coming along well, man. And they wasn't lying about the boy early, man. He's nice, along with the other freshmen, man. That receiving core, hey, them young boys, all right.
Hey, a set of wheels and rocket fuel going on some of those guys, man. I'm glad to see that JoJo still got that explosivity in his step. And you saw what he did for that touchdown. What a great way to kind of welcome himself back into things. Isaiah Bond, man, I think he was so wide open. He tripped over being open. I mean, there was a good 10 yards between him and the defensive back, but he made that catch. But speed.
A kid like that, man, a deep catch like that's the ultimate confidence, man. As a young guy, I never forget. LeRon McClain gave me the most promising, reassuring thing in the world. It was my freshman year, first game, and they put us in the fourth quarter. You want the ball so bad, it's like
yes.
And I dropped it. He pulled me to the side. I was just embarrassed. He was like, "Bro, you got plenty more, man." But just a confidence builder for all those guys, man. They played well, man. So now what's gonna be the X factor is that boy Bryce. So
I'm hearing different things, man. I'm hearing, sprained shoulder, out, 4 to 6 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. And if that's the case, he's going to be missing some key games like A&M, and more importantly, 2 weeks from now, that trip to Knoxville. So what do we do now that our offense is taking on a whole nother look?
Well, honestly, what I think is that's where that true play call is going to come out. Are you good as what we thought you were? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be able, can you adjust? Can you adjust? That's the art of being a good coach. Can you adjust to your quarterback? Can't run the same offense. You got two completely different players. So it's gonna be fun to see, man. But that boy Miro, I didn't know he was gonna run like that. But he's nice, man.
I'm telling you, he's got that cheat code kind of speed.
Yes.
And he's a big guy. So if you're gonna challenge him and trying to meet him where he's coming, I feel bad for you. But hats off to Jalen Milroe. First of all, coming in And one of the craziest situations you could draw up, hostile crowd, on the road, and in just a crazy moment. But, he endured a huge test, and that's only going to make him better. I'm excited to see what he can do once he starts to get a little bit more comfortable with the plays and run the offense himself. And if Bill O'Brien can actually start, earning his paycheck and designing plays according to what he can do, instead of getting it down to the 2-yard line and doing a little jump pass, yeah, I'm a little salty about that. When you're at the 2-yard line, you just run that ball in and dare somebody to challenge you.
Hey man, he's a Tebow fan. Come on, man.
I
everybody
get that.
trying to reinvent the wheel. We try to, like I said, football is not complicated. We just overcomplicate it. It's just, come on, man. Run the ball. Who gonna tackle him? He bigger than all the running backs.
Yeah,
he bigger than all the running backs.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like, come on, man. That's Derrick Henry again. Come on, who gonna tackle him? And he can throw on the run. So that's what I would be interested to see if they would use him like a Baylor type when they had Baylor, when they had RG3 type. I think he's capable of that, or like a Cam Newton type style offense where, hey man, that's your RPO for real, because he will pull that thing and go.
Oh, without doubt. So, and once he gets more comfortable throwing the ball, he definitely has the receivers getting separation. He had a couple of plays where he could have hit somebody in stride, they would have been gone. But he just was, I guess the moment was just a little too much. He hadn't settled in yet, but that's going to come with time. So no need to panic about that. But you mentioned the run the ball, something that we've been talking about for how many weeks now, and how frustrated we've been getting with Bill O'Brien because he refused to run the ball. And what happened, Mike, when we ran the ball?
Come on, big plays, man. And when you big plays come all around. When you got explosive back, Gibbs is man, that is Alvin Kamara, Reggie Bush, early like USC Reggie Bush. That boy is the X factor. So
yeah.
And Kool-Aid, man, his return, man, we got some electric players, man. He may be a better receiver than better DB, man.
I know, right? Listen, he's about to bust one. He is just inches away from being a Javier Arenas type that we're going to be talking about for the next couple of years. But he looks good. He looks natural returning them kicks. So hopefully in the near future, we're going to see some more. One thing I want to talk about, we've been challenging that offensive line, for several weeks. When were they going to get together? When was that continuity going to be established? When would we have the right pieces in there? And if you noticed, we put Seth McLaughlin back in center. And all of a sudden, we go back to having a dominant offensive line, similar to last year when we inserted him in the second half of the Auburn game. And then, of course, he played the rest of the way out. And that line all of a sudden became stable. It became nasty. And no one could challenge him. And then you fast forward to today, look what happens. We're blowing people off the line. Man.
Special player. Like I said, what we said last week, man, you need three gangsters and 2 church boys, man. They look good, man. They gave them all the time. And when you got a quarterback, your QB2 coming in, and he's not running for his life, man. That's settling, man. You can relax, man. I'm anxious to see how are the receivers going to adjust. You got 2 different mechanical quarterbacks, 2 different makeups. One is a ball of muscle, and then you got Bryce that's smooth like Curry, man. They're just gonna drop it on the dime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got Giannis that's just gonna meet him in the hole. So
no doubt. And I think right now, you mentioned earlier, throw the short routes, the screens, slants, get the receivers involved that way. Jalen actually has a cannon of an arm. He just doesn't quite have that touch yet. But in a couple of games, you're going to start seeing him hit those long balls.
Yeah, man, we got to get my girlfriend, got to soften him up, man, because he is like, like Iron Mike, we don't have sex the whole year. Like he is testosterone, man. But I'm interested to see, are they going to have a special package for all these players, man? Because they have all the weapons. If we don't capitalize and continue to spread the ball, run the ball, it has to be it has to be a balanced attack, man. But that defensive front, they wasn't shooting the gaps like I needed them because Tua goddamn kind of getting exposed a little bit, man. But
well, at least not in the third quarter. Third quarter is a tale of two different defensive fronts. You came in there, and they were averaging 5 yards a pop, and they were just pushing them back and kind of moving them according to their will instead of the other way around. And we kind of lost that meanness, that aggressiveness. And Toa, like you said, was going back to some of the things that we have been criticizing for, over the past a few weeks. And then, of course, last year, which I'm sure Marvin has a lot to say come Tuesday. But there were some things that I didn't quite care for him. He was lost a couple of plays, made some bad reads. And then one play specifically that really got me frustrated, I'm sure you got frustrated, was, we had a 3 and out. It was 3rd and 15. Got the sack. Jaheim Otis landed on KJ, ate him all up, and plays over. What does Toa do? Pushes the guy in the back, sends him to the ground. That's not a smart play by a senior.
It's not at all. I mean, that's gonna be on one of them plays, man. He gonna be held accountable. The eye in the sky don't lie, baby. So, hey, good luck to that one. But Arkansas played a decent game, man, but I still have yet to see these corners really challenged, man. It's almost like these boys, every team we play, they almost fold before they even play Bama, man. I'm like, man, Arkansas didn't even, the first half, they didn't even look like Arkansas we saw last week.
Oh, no, not at all. They look completely lost. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't recover. They didn't know which way was up, man. It's like they peed down their leg because they were scared because the receivers were just exposing them. Bryce was pretty much having a field day, and he could pretty much dial anything up. He probably could have spun around 3 times, closed his eyes, and threw it up, which yard.
Yes. I wonder if it's like you said, if his shoulder, if it's just a shoulder, 2 to 6 week, hopefully it's not that AC joint or a labrum or anything like that, man. And I wonder, I don't know if it's a rule or not, because I know NFL, you got to tell what's going on. I wonder how it is in college now. There's NILs involved too. Do you have to tell what the injury is or how severe it is?
Well, if you play for the Miami Dolphins, you can. Never mind.
Oh, shit. Man.
I'm still sick about that. And, I didn't want to bring it up on this show, but yeah, I'm a little furious as to how that played out.
Money talks, man. They going to get their money worth, man.
But you know what?
At the end of the day, you a horse, bro.
But do you put money on somebody's life? Because that's serious, man. That's a brain situation.
No, I'm telling you. I mean, it's bit, bro. I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
But man, they gonna play who they pay, whether we agree with it or not. These folks don't care about you, man. As long as Vegas win, they pockets getting greased. They fine.
You right on that.
You'll see it in college football.
I know you've seen some things.
That's a whole nother conversation. You like,
yes, sir.
He can't even tell you where he at right now, and you finna put him back in? Because man, it's a dirty world we stay in and we live in, man.
Money drives everything, sir. Speaking of Bryce, Eric Owens is saying per reports he was actually throwing at halftime. Alex Scarborough reported that. He's a notable guy in the sports world. So if he's saying it, then chances are it's true. And that's a good sign right there for Bryce. Let me get to this comment before we start jumping on some calls. Lee Roberts IV. Bill's play calling is horrible. He calls passes when we have 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1. He's running away from the weakness, the run game. Can't hide that forever. You have to run and pass today.
No lies told. None. You spot on. You need to be on the show.
Well, hey, listen, and when we actually ran the ball, hey, great things happen. So, Bill, don't go away from what's actually working. But also, like I said, earn your paycheck and play to Jalen's strength. Don't be one-dimensional. Don't try to force things that are out of his skill set. This is where you need to be creative, sir.
I'm telling you, man. For me, I'm running the offense like we running running, gun, and shooting. That's all we doing. I'm running that hurry up offense. I don't need him to think at all. Just play ball. Do what what we brought you in for. Be that dual threat quarterback.
You're right. You're right. All right, guys, we're about to start our call segment. Just a quick reminder. Go ahead and state what it is you want to talk about, and then hang up and listen, because unfortunately you won't be able to hear Mike's response. The way this is set up, you can only hear me talk, and then I'm sure you probably want to hear Mike's perspective. So again, when you get called, tell us where you're calling from, who you are, state what you want to talk about, hang up and listen, and hey, most of all, let's have some fun. So let's go ahead and take our first caller to see who we got here on the line. Welcome to the show. You're with the TDA post-game show with Justin, Riley, and Mike McCoy. To go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from and what's on your mind. Man, I am so glad you're the first guy to call, man. We look forward to you jumping on each week, man. You're the most entertaining caller, the most passionate caller. So, man, the floor is yours, sir. Oh, yeah. Man.
Whatever you want to call him, he sucks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. No, you speak your truth, man. We are not a politically correct show. That's for some of the other shows on YouTube. Here, we're going to let you speak your truth. Now, as far as Coach Saban saying, run the effing ball, listen, I got about 20 text messages at that very moment. Bo Scarborough was the first, and then everybody else at the same time. Everybody heard that, because everybody knows when you're down at the goal line, first and goal from the 2, don't be throwing the ball around.
For what?
Yeah, why? For what?
No, man, we ain't got time to be playing them kind of ignorant games, man. Like, this is not Madden 24, NCAA 23 or whatever. This ain't no game, man. This is real football, dude. And I don't know, man. Bill O'Brien sucked, man. I thought he was a horrible hire from the start, but Nick is a human. He make mistakes, and we got to call Coach out on this. Coach, your boy trash. But we got the owners that making plays. That defensive line they did all right. And man, that man is so crazy. My middle linebacker look more confused than my boys LMU football team. Like, I don't get it. You the starting linebacker and you run around in circles doing nothing, and then you pushing people after the play, acting like you tough. Boy, if you don't get out of here with that bull, like what is that?
I agree, man. First of all, I wasn't a fan of his all game long. Yeah, he made a couple plays here and there, but a lot of times he was lost. Didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. He was out of position. He got drug a couple of times. And then, it's 3rd and 15. We put him out. G-Mo is, ate up KJ. Next thing I know, we're getting a flag because Toa is pushing people to the ground. I mean, come on, man. You're a senior.
Come on now. This is supposed to be a senior leader. 4 years. You've been playing in the SEC for 4 years, and you making little bitty kid mistakes, man. I'm talking about 8U, 9U football team mistakes, guys. Like that. Man, listen, man. We got to see Blackshire or somebody that's actually going to want to hit somebody in that middle, man. Because that's our only weakness is, man, you got a linebacker that don't want to hit at all. Like, don't want to stick his nose in there at all. He want to wait and catch somebody. I hope that you don't. Man, roll tide, y'all. I'm walking in the Walmart. My girlfriend tapping on me. I'm sorry, man. Roll tide.
Yeah, roll tide, brother. It's always a pleasure to have you call, buddy.
Yeah, true, man.
What a way to start things off, man. Jay from Sheffield, one of our biggest celebrities. But yeah, let's keep the calls coming. Again, I'll remind everybody, state what it is you want to talk about, and then jump off because you won't be able to hear what Mike's response is. So I'm going to let in our next caller. Welcome to the post-game show. You're on with Justin and Mike. State your name, where you're calling from, and what you want to talk about. Oh, and Roll Tide.
Justin, this is Lucian.
Oh, man, he's coming with it. Come on, Lucian. Let's hear it.
Well, our boys fought hard today and fought a lot of adversity in that all-red crowd, which I'm really not a fan of that color, but we'll get on to the point. So, defensive line played really, really good. Jaheim Otis strong, man. Like I said so many times, he's going to be huge for us. They need to keep playing that man. And I feel like we need to give number 98, Jamil Burrows, maybe some more snaps. Just saying. But let me get to the point of this. I mean, Jay touched on it. What is Henry T doing, man? Like, I'm not even going to touch on the after the play penalty. How about the touchdown? He was grabbing this dude's face mask. For what reason? What are you doing? You are playing football all this time, and you are just making head case mistakes. I feel like when this dude goes out of town and plays on the road, he just doesn't know how to play football and just makes energy plays. But our offensive line looked good. Seth, glad to see him back at center, man. He is a rock. We need to build around him. And you know what? Our receivers, how about them freshmen?
How about them freshmen?
Stepped up today. Still looking for Burton sighting. Still haven't really seen much from that guy. I feel like maybe we need to move on. And JoJo Earl, was good to see him out there. I mean, bottom line, we are the Tide. So, I mean, we might have some injuries, but we need to let the nation know. We have more than 2 Heisman candidates on our team because Jahmyr Gibbs, I guarantee you, he just took off today. And he ain't going nowhere but up. Justin, that's all I got tonight. Roll Tide, Bama Nation.
Roll Tide, brother. Glad to have you call in. Hey,
Scott said these are the worst Alabama receivers. Scott, you cold-blooded, Jay.
No, man didn't hold a thing back. Hey, I will say, in defense of Jermaine Burton, there were a couple of plays where he had separation. Matter of fact, that play down the field, Milroe short-armed it, and had he hit him in stride, that's an easy 6. But yeah, he was in position a couple of plays. Just unfortunately, Milroe wasn't able to get it to him. But like I said earlier, that's correctable, and he'll get that down within the next couple of games. But hey, quick stat line: Jahmyr Gibbs, 18 carries, 206 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he hurt folks, man. Oh, and your boy Kobe Prentice, 3 receptions for 92 yards and that touchdown.
That's it. That's it.
But these young guys, man, they're leading the way. They hungry. What's different about this group, man? Because you're looking at guys like Jaheim Otis who come in, a grown man, knowing the assignment, and he played the entire game, and he just wrecked people.
I think Coach Saban has taken away the inability of a lot of these kids to be it's okay for them to mess up. Most freshmen, you're not sure what you're going to get. And when he just let them play, man, it's not when you come into a system, hey, we're going to play the old guys. You got a coach to say, man, all y'all jobs up for grabs. Ain't nobody say. Shit, you ain't got no choice but to play. You coming in, you already coming out of high school feeling like you the man as it is. Come on, man. And if you got the right mindset and the right circle, you really feel like you that dude. And these young boys really feel like they them boys.
And I got no arguments right there. So let's go ahead and get the next caller. Again, y'all be sure to state your name, where you're calling from, tell us what you're thinking, and then jump off and listen so that Mike can reply to what it is that you're talking about. But you are live on air for the TDA postgame show with Justin and Mike. Who we have on the line? And hey, Roll Tide.
Hey, Roll Tide, guys. This is Robert from Mobile.
What's going on, Robert? How are you feeling today?
Hey, man, that was I hate we let the game get a little closer than they should have gotten, but overall, a pretty good road win, since the Mississippi State game, last solid road win we've had. We ran away with it when we had to. I mean, literally. And I agree with your previous caller, Jahmyr Gibbs. Hey, this may be your coming out party here, man. I mean, wow. But he shows what you can do when he has a decent hole to run through and no one's in the backfield harassing him. And the team is showing what they can do when, okay, this is going to be a running play and no option. It's a straight up run, block for the run. When they're told to block for just the run and nothing else, they get pretty good at it. Because Arkansas's run defense wasn't bad. It was their pass defense that was bad. And Bryce exposed it, of course, early on in the game. Bryce was ripping it apart because their pass defense was bad. But the run defense was supposed to have been solid. And, but Alabama just torched it down the stretch when we had to. And when it was going to be a straight-up run and nothing else, they torched it. And Jahmyr Gibbs definitely showed that, you give him a crease. Although the line blocked quite well, Jahmyr Gibbs' first touchdown run, and I'm over 50 years old, and I think I would have got at least 5 or 6 yards with that hole. It was so large. But, of course, the second one was, just a crease, and he just scurried through it, and then he's off to the races. And, his speed is just wow. You're not catching him. When he gets full speed, it's over. And that's great. I mean, that's what we can have going forward. And it was good to see a lot of elements. The defense was somebody. I can't wait to see To'o's explanation for that block in the back. I can't wait to see the interview so you can tell me something. I'm sure the interview is going to be more like, I shouldn't have done it. It won't happen again. Because that's the only thing he can say. But goodness gracious, guy, that's 3 points on you. Teams off the field. You're like you guys said, you're a senior leader. Those plays shouldn't happen. So let's not see it again. Mm-hmm. But if Alabama plays close to flawless, or cut the penalties in half, they're unstoppable. They can rip through anybody. It's their penalties and turnovers that keep games closer than they should be. But still, despite that, when they had to pull away and they had to run away, they were able to do it. On the road in a hostile environment, when the Arkansas was feeling good about themselves when they got down to 5, and then Jahmyr Gibbs just turned into the road runner on them. That burst of speed when he was about to get caught, and that burst of speed, and it's all over. And that's what Jahmyr Gibbs did to Arkansas. Okay, it's beep beep, and we're gone. Goodbye. Your chance is over. And I think that's a formula that we can have going forward. Now, when Bryce is in, you can't commit to that because, again, the defense, he'll take what the defense gives him. If the defense gives him an obvious pass, he'll take it. But with Jahmyr Gibbs, it can be, it's a pass or a run. Either way, we're committed to it. That makes it a little simpler for the offensive line. And I think that helps them out quite a bit. So if it's Jahmyr Gibbs, Texas A&M is the basket case right now. Even without Bryce Young, we should run away from Texas A&M. They're just a complete basket case of a team right now. They're not going to come in Tuscaloosa even without Bryce Young and win that game. I think I wanted to be another total beatdown. After that, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of Texas A&M, has anybody checked on them because they got beat down thoroughly by the Bulldogs today in Starkville to the tune of 42-24, which I actually called that, but didn't mean to interrupt your thought, brother. Go on.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, my point exactly. Okay, if you're not scoring on Mississippi State, who are you scoring on? So you're not going to give only score 17 points Mississippi State and then come to Tuscaloosa and hit us up for 30 points or whatever. So if you don't get 30 points, you don't have a chance. So I think that's what's going to happen with them. They're going to be it'll probably be similar. Alabama probably score in the 40s and Texas A&M the low 20s at best. You probably won't even get that much. Especially all Noah Jimbo has been talking. You may not even get that. But overall, it could have been cleaner, yeah. But still a good road victory in the hostile environment. And and the most impressive thing was when they had to have the run, they had to run. And that's what we were looking for all season. So that was definitely good vibes there. All right, guys, great talking with you.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for calling. Roll Tide. Hey, first of all, Mississippi State, that defense is no slouch, man. If you look at them,
I was about to say that now.
They're about to country boys out the mud, man. They're quietly a very good defense. They'll hit you in the mouth.
after this weekend, how many teams in the SEC have a losing record? Because Vandy, even what is Vandy? What Vandy was 2-2?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it. No, they were 3-2.
Right. So I mean, this is the SEC now. I ain't just gonna sleep on A&M next week. You got to think him and Saban got some beef now. They get the NIL before the season. Hey, you better check out what Alabama's doing. I got this.
Go ahead and ask him. Ask God.
That's right. So, hey, Saban finna try to stomp a mud hole in his ass. I don't know if he gonna do it, Jim, but they know each other. That's like sibling rivalry right there.
Hey, Sully462. So I guess Jimbo is wanting a refund on his signing.
He needs the money back. I would ask for my money back, Sully.
He should have got a warranty from that purchase he made off of eBay because it's not paying off.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that previous caller brought up, the mental errors, the penalties. In this game, Alabama didn't really start getting in trouble until the mental errors showed up. The undisciplined plays, the penalties, the miscues, especially on special teams with that botched punt. That's the thing that, like you said earlier, we can win through anybody. It's when Alabama steps in the way of Alabama where we start to get in trouble. So that's something we need to correct, especially next week when we're trying to we got a new thing going, so we got to figure some things out. Don't give Texas A&M any life, but 2 weeks from now, man, you better be playing flawless in Knoxville, especially, Bryce sitting back.
Right. Now, I agree wholeheartedly. The thing about the special teams, I'm wondering, was there a miscue on it? Because when he snapped the ball, now that thing was spot on. Now it just went to the right side. So I'm wondering what the conversation was prior to them getting onto that field. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, guys don't just make errors like that. Well, this team, there's not too much room for errors on this team. So I'm wondering what was said on. And so I think that was a fluke. You take that. We gave them a touchdown right there, but that's part of football. You never plan on situations like that arriving, and you don't even know how to plan for it. So I'm interested to see how they're going to clean up the special teams this weekend, but we'll see.
Yeah. Another thing, the previous caller, Robert from Mobile, was talking about how Arkansas's run defense coming into the game, they were only allowing 3.2 yards per carry, and he was talking about how we were having a difficult time. Actually, the entire game, I felt like we pretty much did what we wanted to against them. When we were balanced while Bryce was playing, man, we were moving them boys out the way. It wasn't until the third quarter when things were kind of in limbo and Arkansas had momentum where their run defense was able to do a little bit more. But then when we settled down, we went straight back to what we did in the first half, if not better. I think for the most part, that offensive line stepped up and controlled the Arkansas front seven.
I was pleased with the front seven. I mean, front five guys. I was pleased with the blocking. Wasn't too many now. With some holes there. I mean, bro, I ain't had on those shoulder pads in about 8 years. I could have backpedaled through that, So I mean, they did what they did. They did their job. And you called it earlier when you bring the center in and who commands the odd and who commands the room. They got to be the smartest guy on the line. When you got somebody who's capable and willing to do that job and can do it to that ability, you make your quarterback look better than what he may be. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess I kind of disagree with what it said about Mississippi State and the O-line. So
I agree.
But it's an opinion. So no, I ain't gonna say I'm right.
Hey,
but
we're here to say whatever we want to say. But Seth McLaughlin, everybody looks at as a smaller version of a Landon Nickerson, and that's mainly because he's a country boy, blue collar, hit you in the mouth, and he doesn't apologize for it. And they look at Darian Dalcourt as a more athletic, bigger guy, but for whatever reason, it just hadn't worked for Darian Dalcourt. I just hadn't seen it. So why are you forcing, a round peg in a square hole? Go for what's working. And hey, today we saw instant stability, like I said earlier. offensive line played tremendously better. And I think a couple of those holding calls on Javion Cohen, they're a little bit questionable because if you looked up close, I didn't see any kind of holding. I more so saw big Javion Cohen being brute strong and just taking the kid to the ground.
Baptizing John the Baptist out there, baptizing. Where's the syrup? He just got me another pancake.
That's it.
Yeah, so.
Looking like Luke Cage out there, man.
Yeah.
And I think he just got a penalty because they felt sorry for the guy. But hey, you signed up to play the game, and that's the consequences.
That's right. That's right.
But let's go ahead and take some more callers. I know everybody's anxious. Again, I want to remind everybody, state your name, where you're calling from, tell us what you think, and then hop off the line and listen. That way Mike is able to comment on what you're wanting to talk about, and you're able to hear him. So want to welcome you into the TDA post-game show. You're on live with Justin Riley and Mike McCoy. Who are we speaking with right now? And Roll Tide.
Speaking of Mike from Chicago, great game by the team. I thought the offensive line stepped up real good, opened up holes, stabilized everything. I think next week should be the same thing. I'm kind of concerned because I think we're going to need to pass the ball a little bit more. And hopefully Milroe gets his feet under him, relaxes where he's able to deliver the ball. He has a nice throwing arm, a nice zip on the ball, but I'm just hoping he relaxes and everything. Question I have for Mike. I mean, he's been under Nick Saban. A lot of toe bashing, okay? If he's that bad, why is he playing? This is Nick Saban's defense. Nick Saban is an X and O's coach. He knows it ain't like he's a CEO type of coach. This is his defense. So if he's as bad as everybody thinks he is, then why is he on the field? Why hasn't not Nick Saban pulled the plug if he's not doing the things that he needs to do? So I'll sit back and listen, guys. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you for the call. Okay, Mike, you're up. What you got, man? What do you see? And I know you'll tell it like it is, so go right ahead.
Well, I ain't going to even lie to you now. You got to think the guy transferred in for a reason. Not saying that the guy is not capable of getting the job done. He's just not the prototype that Alabama players are used to seeing. They're used to seeing guys with grit. You got a Reuben Foster. You got Rolando. You got Dante that will hit you in your mouth. C.J. Mosley. This is more of I'm not going to say, I think he tackles with a little bit more grace. Not a slobber knocker. It's a little West Coast-ish. It's not down south, It ain't a grill. But again, the guy, I'm not taking anything. He can make all the calls and call the protections. He can do everything. But when it comes to clogging up that middle, you can't go in there timid. You can't go in there tiptoeing. You got to go in there doing it. That's why I ain't play defense. I ain't built like that. I'm finna catch this thing and I'm going the other way. But it has to be a certain type of guy to clog up that middle. And I think you got to think he's a smaller linebacker, man. He's not a 240, 250. He's not imposing. So he's just a flashy linebacker, man. I don't think he can he's not a guy, he does the job, but he's not a standout. But back to what you said about Saban now, I ain't going to tell you, he got some favorites now. So it's always like that now. Don't think there's a couple guys on that team, they some police officers and they play for a reason now. So the backup may be better than the starter, and that happens a lot more than what people understand. And I'm going to tell you also, for every first rounder that comes out of Alabama, it's about 20 to 25 of them that don't get the same opportunity.
You're right.
Hopefully I answered your question.
You said something that had me almost burst out laughing. You said he tackles with grace.
He does. Man, when it throw you a little bit, I'm not gonna. Like Buddy said, he gonna push in your back real hard, but gotcha.
You're a little bit more reserved than what I'd say. When I see him, it's like your mama picking you up in her arms and gently laying you down to sleep, because that's what I see sometimes when he is trying to make tackles. I want to do something real quick, Mike. I have my daughter this weekend, and I promised her that she could have a few moments of fame. So she's going to jump on real quick and say hello.
That's cool.
So all you Bama folks, I want y'all to jump in the chat and tell her Roll Tide. Her name is Eden, and she's going to jump on. She's right here. Come over here. Come up here.
No.
Hurry.
What's up, Sunshine?
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
That's right there.
Do you know your dad is a rock star?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So what question do you want to know? What you want to talk about? This your world. This your show.
I'll say hey to everybody and give everybody a Roll Tide.
Hola, people.
Hola and Roll Tide.
Give them a Roll Tide.
No.
All right. Well, tell them.
Take the head doohickey.
All right. I promised I'd give her a few minutes of fame. I appreciate everybody saying hello to her.
Tell her I need an autograph now.
Mr. Mike says he wants your autograph.
Okay.
She said, okay. I have to admit something, guys. Yeah, don't get mad at me being the dad, but she's not an Alabama fan.
She'll come back. She's the prodigal child. She'll be back.
She's actually a Mississippi State girl. So
Mississippi State.
Yeah, her granddaddy is a big state person, so he had a little something to do with that. She's a granddaddy's girl, so But I say, hey, whatever your dream is, go for that. I'll cheer for you. I just won't wear the colors.
That's right. That's right.
But anyway, let's go ahead and jump to some more calls. We got some people waiting here. Thank you for calling in the Touchdown Alabama Magazine post-game show. You're on live with Mike and Justin. If you would, state your name, where you're calling from. Tell us what your thoughts are, and then hang up and listen so both me and Mike can tell you what we think. Roll Tide.
Good evening, Justin, Mike. This is Kevin, Dallas, Georgia. How y'all doing?
Man, a lot better. It says the Tide came through with a victory, brother. I know you're feeling right.
Well, I just needed to let y'all know I started it as far as last year, but this was before NIL, and that is starting a GoFundMe for all the upperclassmen defensive linemen. But I obviously didn't have enough funds because all of them came back as far as the upperclassmen defensive linemen. And before I exit stage left, gentlemen, I want to ask you, out of the two linebackers that would have possibly come out as far as this past year, Christian Harris and Toa Toa, I thought of the two. I just knew definitely Toa Toa, and I had asked my brother-in-law to back up the truck because we was going to personally get him off campus as far as at the conclusion of last season. But I just honestly feel, gentlemen, that youth needs to be served when it comes to the defensive line. We need to get Burrows and Otis. Otis got a lot of run today, but we need Burrows and the other underclassmen to step to the fore. And to answer as far as the gentleman from Chicago in reference to Toa Toa, the one thing that I love about Coach Saban and the one thing that I have to poke the bear about, pardon the pun, is that I wish that he wasn't as loyal as he is. Because that's the only reason why Toa Toa is getting not only a long leash, but a leash that is long from doggone east to west coast. And if Mike, Justin, as well as myself, if any one of the three of us were doing some of the bonehead things with Toa Toa, we'll be sitting next to the gentleman that's holding the Gatorade. So, it wouldn't be a matter of getting not just one opportunity, 2 opportunities, 3, 100 opportunities to blankety blank up. So, and also, gentlemen, I just want to ask you all one thing in part, and that is, make this comment, and that's, hey, appreciate all that you all do and continue doing the doggone thing. And that is, I know we're getting ready to go through this gauntlet as far as A&M, which, hey, that's just going to be an overhyped scrimmage. Tennessee, I just wonder whether that's going to be a day game. If it's a day game, I think it'll be a walk in the park. Night game, I think it may be a little difficult. And the Mississippi State game should be challenged. But as you all stated, let's just get to the bye.
That's it.
But again, thank you all, gentlemen, for indulging me. Y'all take care. I'll touch base with y'all next show.
Sounds good, man. Roll Tide. Thanks for the call. Mike, you want to speak on that, man? He just talked about, of course, things are a little bit different now. Back in your day, if someone was doing something and it didn't sit well with statement. Matter of fact, I think you were celebrating too hard one time and had to answer for that. So I'll let you speak on that. Now, I know things have changed, but have they really?
Well, Buddy said it spot on. Coach Saban is loyal to. He's loyal to. It depends on every situation, but he's spot on. The guy that he loves, man, he's gonna go head over heels for. He'll go above and beyond. So there's no way I can disagree with him on that. But far as these next couple of games, this is the championship for everybody. Whether it's Tennessee, whether it's A&M or State. We're going to have our hands full going into the game, man. And the crazy thing about it is they watch film just like we do. So the point is, are they going to disguise? They're going to bracket certain receivers. Now, Milroe, I would love to see him run the ball, but I'm nervous to see, is he going to be able to distribute the ball to 8 different receivers in order for us to win the game? You know what I'm saying? And if they're smart, any team that we deal with next, they got to bracket their slots. That's where we get our bread and butter from, man. So, I mean, if you pay attention to the screens, the little short routes, we just going to have to put it in guys in space. But far as seeing a quarterback, Milroe spread the field with his arm, I know he got it, but I'm thinking I know he can complete the 10 yards and in, and he can complete the deep ball, the 30 and 40s, but what about that 15 to 30 yard range? That's where that's like basketball, man. That's where your mid range come in at. That's what makes Bryce so deadly. When his man run and when his zone sit. And when you got a quarterback that know what you're gonna do before you do it, that's hard to reincarnate, man. So we gonna see, man. But I guess to answer your question, I don't think any of these games gonna be walks in the park. I think we gotta bring our A game. But yeah, with Tua, Coach Saban, he must know something on Saban or something. Because anybody else
found his OnlyFans account.
Yeah, saw him at the bar or somewhere. Saban will fire up a cigarette or something. Hey, I'm gonna tell on you or something. But yeah, we gonna see, man.
But you did bring up something that that sticks out. Bryce Young, as far as playing for him, it's very difficult because, like you said, you're having to not only plan for him, but you're having to account for 8 to 12 different wide receivers. That's hard for a coach to do. How do you do that? Well, now things are a little bit different while we're trying to fill things out with Jalen Milroe and get him more established. So it makes the game planning on the opposite side a little bit easier, if you want to call it that. But you bring up a very good point. Here up until the injury, that was an issue for opposing coaches.
Yeah, I'm worried. And then too, man, the advantage that Bryce had, man, you saw every type of defense known to man when you're that first quarterback. You get the 8. Now your number 2 quarterback, he gonna get about 4 snaps on a drive in practice, man. So he's not getting that, man. So he's not going to – it's going to be a lot of different coverages they're going to be throwing at him, man. Mismatches, different type of stunts, zone blitzes. Can he pick them up? Can he adjust? Only time will tell, man. So I'm interested, man. I'm nervous a little bit, but this is going to determine whether Bill O'Brien can handle the big leagues or not, man, because you as a coach, shit, y'all got to be able to adjust and roll with your point guard or your quarterback now. You got to know his strength and you got to know his weaknesses. But these analysts, man, they are crazy, man. They'll be like, hey, man, he throws 83% to his right side when he's in shotgun. So when you getting them type of cues and questions and stuff and they got film on your ass, hey, man, you got to be creative.
You do. And the way I see it now, obviously Bill O'Brien's going to be pursuing another job after this season. But right now, this is the on-the-field interview. Coach is going to be looking at how he's going to be able to handle this type of situation. Are you going to be able to adjust? Are you going to be creative? Or are you just going to fold until Bryce comes back? So, yeah, you bring up a very good point. This is a big deal for him.
Yeah, this your job. This your resume right here, buddy. What can you do when you ain't got Bryce? When you ain't got Kobe in the game, what you gonna do? When you ain't got Curry shooting that jumper, that shot off now. Now Draymond in there, what you gonna do?
That's a good point. Well, let's go ahead and get to another call. I'm gonna remind everybody again, just state your name, where you're calling from, tell us what you think, and then hang up and listen, because unfortunately you won't be able to hear both me and Mike, but hey, we're ready to hear what you're all about. Welcome into the show live with Justin Riley and Mike McCoy. Who do we have on the phone in Roll Tide?
Roll Tide, Justin and Mike. How y'all doing, man?
Man, we good. Big win by Bama. Kind of crazy at times, but we weathered the storm and we did what we had to do.
Crazy is an understatement, man. It's an understatement. I don't know. I kind of like to kind of address things on an offense, defense, and special teams. I hope Bryce is going to be okay. I think Coach Saban said he had like a sprained shoulder, so
yeah,
hopefully he'll be all right. How about, we finally was able to get that running game going, man. How about Gibbs? When we kind of hit the lull there, we wasn't moving the football on the offense, and my only thing was go to Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out of the backfield. Throw the ball to him out of the backfield. He's a playmaker. He's a difference maker. Get him out in the open field. He'll change the game for you. He's that Alvin Kamara type. We saw that, last week. We see it this week. I think our offensive line is way better than last year. We're not getting the push like we normally like to see offensive line do when we run the football, but overall they are doing a better job of pass protecting, right? So I think they gave that a sack when on the play that Bryce got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, I think that's kind of on Bryce there, and Bryce has to be, and I look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he's a big, tough, physical guy, right? At quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts is going to either throw the football away, get slide, or take off, or get out of bounds. Bryce's gonna have to have a sense of that, and he does at times, but you can't hold on to the football. You got to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You live to play another day, like Coach Saban always say. And end each drive in a kick somehow. Don't turn the football over, but take care of yourself out there, man. Basically, protect yourself. I think there was some bogus calls by the refs, especially against who was that? Javion Cohen. They called a holding penalty against him. The guy was already falling, and he just pushed him. But that's I'm glad we was able to settle down and come back and put the game away. I wish Milroe could have hit that pass to what's his name? Transfer
Jermaine Burton
from Georgia. Burton, yeah. I mean, he had him there. He was open. He just didn't have enough juice to get it to him. I'm sure he got a strong arm, but he got to hit that. Those opportunities don't come that often. So you got to hit those type plays. But I think we'll be fine. I like the move they made with Seth McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting it. But I think that he is even though he's smaller, he's a lot quicker, and he has some bad snaps in the game. He got to clean that up. But he overall to me is a little bit quicker. He can move. He can put himself in position to make a block. And blocking is the most simplest thing. I say, blocking is what? Just keeping your body in between the defender and the football. You don't have to be the best block, but just keep your body in between the defender and the football, man. And that's what Seth does. defensively, you know, played, you know, started off pretty good. You know, we played pretty well in the first half, but we ended up letting them drive and getting a touchdown before half. And then, you know, we kind of lost all of our senses, man. We lost all of our senses. We didn't know what we was doing out there any longer. We was out there. We can't tackle. You know, several times we could have got the guy down, but, you know, we out there using our arms to tackle. You got to use your legs, man. You got to use your legs. You got to use the rest of your body to tackle. We out there grabbing guys. It's just undisciplined, you know, tackling out there, grabbing the face mask and yada, yada, yada. Then, you know, Henry tore with a bonehead move. We could have been off the field. Them guys probably would have never scored. They was going to punt the football. But there was a boneheaded play by a senior and a leader on the defense. You know, you don't do that type stuff, man. And then I just end with, you know, I feel sorry for Will. You know, he had a little streak going, Will Reichert. You know, he barely missed that field goal, but you know, he's always gonna bounce back, man. Oh, yeah. And I'm not understanding the bad snap on the punt, man. It's just a miscommunication, I assume. But overall, I mean, Kool-Aid did pretty well on the punt returns. We got to clean up our, you know, the block in the back and all that stuff, the holding and everything. So, but overall, great win. We 2-0. And also, you know, Tua to me, yeah, I think Saban does have some favoritism towards him. You know, he started 2 years at Tennessee. They recruited him very heavily. They thought they was going to get him, you know, coming out of high school. But he ended up at Tennessee, got another chance to get him. He's just not physical to me, guys. I mean, he's a good linebacker. He's an okay linebacker to me. But I saw a linebacker for Arkansas that reminded me of linebackers Alabama had, and that's a Bumper Pool.
Yes, absolutely.
That guy is very physical, man, and very heavy, and gonna stick his nose in there and knock somebody's teeth out, right? So, but that's all I got, guys. I appreciate you all for taking Justin, you and Mike, man. Mike, I can't hear you, man, but I appreciate you guys for taking my call, and I look forward to next week. You know, what do you call it, the Revenge Bowl?
Yeah,
against
something like that.
The $75 million man and his team. Jimbo Fisher ain't nothing but a big old phony, man. He's a big phony to me. But I just want to see how we're going to react and come back when we go back on the road, you know, and see how disciplined we can be on offense and defense. And then we would go back to Tennessee, you know. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys, man, and y'all keep up the good work. And I'll check in with y'all later. And roll tide.
Roll tide. Sounds good. All right. That about does it for our call segment. Well, we're running up on the end of things, Mike. But before we close down shop, as always, I like to get your lap dogs. I like to get your pit bulls. So if you let's go ahead and jump into that, man. Who you got on both counts?
All right. My two lap dogs. I ain't going to call no names because these still babies. My linebacking core and my secondary, not the corners, but the safeties, man. I think we allowed a little too much freedom to get to that next level, man. Battle has been quiet the last couple of games, man. I'm a huge fan, advocate for the brother. So
yes, sir.
He's been quiet, but I'm gonna have to get the dogs to their front five, man. Their offensive line, man. They did it this week. They allowed the receivers to play without offensive line, man. You don't win in them trenches, you don't win, period. So that's my segment. The linebacking core, the two-hand touch guy, and you know the safeties. Yeah, so I need them to tighten up a little bit, but I get a pit bull award to that front five, man. Y'all boys, y'all deserve some church's chicken. You know what I'm saying? With that biscuit, you know. Yes. So yeah. That's your NIL deal from me.
There you go. Do you have a player of the game for offense and defense?
Man, player of the game, Milroe. You came in and you did what you had to do. It wasn't graceful as everybody would like, man, but I think he's gonna come into his own. I think the guys are gonna rally around him. anytime you lose a guy like a Bryce, that's your heart of the team. Like that is your Professor X. So I think that's why guys were a little shook. You don't have that energy on the sideline. It's tough being in an adverse situation, man. When your leader goes down, and obviously he cool as a cucumber, man. And it was just good to see a guy his caliber on the sideline back out there cheering on their team, man. That you don't find that often, man. So Coach Saban, he's been doing a good job as far as getting guys in that quarterback position who know how to lead, man, that have personality. So, but Miro, he got player of the game for me.
That's what's up. I have to go with that too. No, I'm not trying to copy you, but how can you not give it to him? Yes, you can say Jahmyr Gibbs all day long, 206 yards, but to go in there and weather a storm in a crazy conditions like that and to come out with a win,
yes,
but also to make plays that put your team in position to take over and get back on top, man, that's huge. So, yeah, you get my player of the game on offense. Well, folks, that'll just about do it for us. If you're watching replay, make sure you drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe. Also, join us again on Monday for In My Own Words. Stephen M. Smith will be back to recap everything. And then also don't forget about us on the Bama Standard Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. We got a lot to talk about. But anyway, Roll Tide, great gang. Thanks for being with us again, Mike.
Roll Tide.
Hey, Roll Tide. Hey, Roll Tide to everybody in the chat. We out.